Hi guys, today we're heading over to K&K Custom Cycles in Palm Harbor, Florida, where father and son team Ken and Kyle Boyle are going to walk us through the 1998 through 2013 package installation. Let's go check it out. Place a towel in the bike's front fender to protect against bumps and dings. Disconnect both the positive and the negative main power wires from the battery. Remove the outer fairing to expose the back of the radio. Remove the two wires from each speaker by gently pulling one at a time. Undo the screws that attach each speaker grill assembly to the inner fairing and remove them. Gently pull the stock speaker out of each grill assembly. Remove the factory grill cloth mesh, noting which way the new mesh lines up with the old tape, and apply the new mesh. Clip the XM50F speaker into each grill assembly so the speaker terminals are adjacent to the thickest part of the speaker grill assembly. Place your new speaker grill assembly onto the inner fairing and reattach each one using the OE screws. Repeat the speaker placement process on the other side. If the bike has a factory rear tour pack with speaker pods, the XM50R speakers can be installed along with the CA-HRN98UT harness. Mount the first XM160-2-98 amplifier on top of the OEM radio using the supplied Velcro. On the amp's audio input harness, locate the yellow-black pair of wires with the male connectors. Unplug the factory speaker wires on the clutch side of the bike and plug the yellow-black wires into those, noting that they will only go in one way. Also, on the audio input harness, locate the green-black pair of wires with the male connectors. Unplug the factory speaker wires on the brake side of the bike and plug the green-black wires into those. The female OE inline connectors mate with the male connectors on each speaker and only go on one way. To mount the second XM160-2-98 amplifier with the CA-PLT98 mounting plate, remove and reuse the 3 factory bolts as shown, then attach the amp using the supplied Velcro. This kit includes a wire harness with white, black, and red-black wires. The supplied harness will plug into the bypass out on the first XM160-2-98. The white-black pair of wires on the supplied harness will plug into the yellow-black wires clutch side input on the second XM160-2-98. The red-black wires on the supplied harness will plug into green-black brake side input on the second XM160-2-98. For this bike and for other 2007 to 2013 bikes, the balance of the main power harness will pass under the inner fairing where the main wire harness passes through on the brake side of the bike. For 98 to 06 bikes, the power harness will pass under the inner fairing where the throttle and idle cables pass through on the brake side of the bike. Loosen the tank console and run the wires underneath it, over the gas tank. There is a provision on the front of the tank console for wires to pass. If you prefer, you can remove the gas tank and run the harness along the backbone of the bike's frame. Secure the amplifier's harness to the bike's factory harness using zip ties. When correctly installed, the power and ground wires are the right length to connect to the battery. If you're installing your amps on a road glide, the first amp will mount to the CA-PLT98RG plate as shown here, and the second amplifier will mount to the CA-PLT98RG2 as shown here. There are several important steps to installing the CA-LID98 6x9 saddlebag lids. In this video, we'll summarize the main steps, but please refer to the owner's manual for step-by-step instructions. First, remove and disassemble the factory saddlebag lids. Then prepare the new lids by replacing the factory tethers along with the mounting hardware and apply the new striker plates. Mount the XM69R speakers to the lids, making sure to use the supplied 6x9 gasket and 8 Phillips head screws, 4 per lid, to secure them in place. Route the wires in each saddlebag, noting which wires are labeled clutch side and brake side. Attach the speaker wires to the speaker, then clean the lid surface and secure the wiring in place. Reattach each of the factory lids by reversing the removal process. Route the speaker wiring harness from the saddlebags to the fairing, following the OEM wiring, and plug in the 4-pin connector to the amplifier. Note that the supplied long harness with 4 wires has 2 2-pin plugs on one end and a single 4-pin plug on the other. In all cases, the end with the 4-pin plug will go nearest the amplifier. If removed, refit the fuel tank and attach the wires to the battery terminals, red to positive and black to negative. Lastly, turn the bike's handlebars fully in both directions to ensure there are no obstructions, and you're all set.